In my previous life, my overstuffed bladder caused my body's function to malfunction, and I was spiritually transported to the immortal cultivation world, the most handsome man in the sword sect. I was naturally liked by countless female sisters and apprentices. At night, with a cold look on her face and wearing the skin of a peerless swordsmith, she came to challenge me. I only heard the 8th senior sister pointing at me and said, "Senior brother's sword technique during the day is vivid in my mind. I hope that senior brother will point it out." I said pretentiously, "It does come up short on flavor, so since you like it, I'll demonstrate it some more." I then pulled up the sword next to me and showed my Taikai swordplay to the 8th sister. Then I asked my sister if she remembered the sword technique. She whispered, "Only a little bit." Though she's usually a bit naive, she can't forget her swordsmanship, and she's really only remembered a little bit. Then the 8th senior sister said coyly, "Senior brother, I've forgotten all about the sword technique just now." "I'll tell 8th sister. It seems you've got all the essence of this sword technique. Is there anything else you want to ask now?" I only heard 8th sister ask, "Elder brother, you can obviously pull out the Chinping sword. Why do you refuse to show it during the day?" I merely drew a sword in passing just now, and just now I actually drew the Chinping sword. Does it mean it's finally time for my highlight? I can't miss such a great opportunity. I was going to show my sister again how I pulled out the Chinping sword, but unfortunately now the Chinping sword is not moving at all. At this moment, I am embarrassed. Senior sister, you do not know. This kind of divine object must already have a spirit. Let senior brother first communicate with him. Ditch. I was going to show off in front of the 8th sister, but now I can't pull it out. After a while, I told my senior sister that this Chinping sword had a mind of its own and that it had gone to sleep. 8th senior sister looked puzzled. "Swords can sleep too." I told her, "Is there anyone who gets up in the middle of the night to practice sword training like us?" And just then, someone actually flew in our direction. 8th sister said that the visitor seemed to have her sister's aura. The 8th master, who was about to say hello, was stopped by me and instructed to let him go and hide in the pigsty for a while. "You're just teaching me how to practice. Why are you so nervous? If her sister finds out, she'll beat me up." I then said, "Now is the critical time to cultivate the sword hard. It is most avoidable for others to disturb you." I hastily patted 8th sister's arse, urging her to get inside and hide. Afterwards, the 8th sister hid herself in the haystack as I instructed, not daring to make a single sound. At this moment, the 9th senior sister, with an expectant face, flew towards me, looking very eager. At this time, she thought in her heart, "Today, senior brother finally fell alone, and then we will be alone in a room together." But she had just walked over when she smelled a woman's scent, and this one smelled more like her sister's. Right at this moment, I appeared in front of the 9th senior sister with a face of deep emotion. Looking at the 9th senior sister, with a deer in the headlights in her heart, 9th sister thought to herself that her senior brother was truly worthy of being a real man, carrying the sins of his disciple during the day and enduring loneliness alone at night. What 9th sister didn't expect was that my hallowed sword sex beautiful man had become so lonely that he was reciting poetry to a pigsty. Just then 9th senior sister suddenly felt something was wrong. There must be something odd about senior brother chanting poetry to a pigsty in the middle of the night. I looked at 9th senior sister and asked in a very puzzled manner, "Why did you appear in the middle of the night at no sword peak?" Only to see the senior sister icy reply, "Just enjoy the moon. How senior brother's not sword peak I cannot come." Looking at the moon looming in the sky, the 9th sister hurriedly said, "If you have the moon in your heart, you can enjoy it even without the moon. Usually all kinds of despise me. Now you sneak over in the middle of the night. Isn't it for the sake of seeing the Chinping sword? But I'm a man of style. How could I care about that? For brother, this is not sword peak. You can come anytime." Yet why isn't she drawing her sword and looking left and right for something? Did she find her sister? 9th senior sister looked at me with a displeased face. Senior brother is really annoying, actually hanging out with others. 9th senior sister suddenly realized that there were other people's footprints on the ground, and there seemed to be her sister's stick as well. I hurriedly let out a loud shout and told the 9th senior sister that it was senior brother who had just comprehended a stance that required him to float his feet at all times. "Senior is really strange. Isn't this just a horse stance? And why is there a ruler under his feet?" At this moment, the 9th senior sister also felt the aura on the ruler and ran towards it. I panicked a batch internally. I must not be found by him. I only saw that I quickly took the ruler back and scratched my back. 9th senior sister, it's getting late. Senior brother is ready to rest and go. 9th senior sister calmly said senior brother. Please go ahead. Today the moon is just right. I will enjoy the moon here. Sleepy, I will rest on this pile of grass. I rushed to stop the ninth senior sister. How can such a high and mighty ninth senior sister of my sword sect sleep on a pile of grass? Looking at my tense expression and the ruler that she had just discovered, ninth senior sister then took a leap of faith and rushed towards the haystacks. I only saw me flash and take the lead to lie on top of the grass, and the eighth sister let out a gasp of surprise. Ninth senior sister asked suspiciously at this time, "What was that sound just now?" I hurriedly explained it was me being too comfortable. Ninth senior sister looked at me. "Senior brother, why are you sweating so much? It's better to go and rest in a comfortable place." At this moment, I am embarrassed. So it seems that I can't just sit back and wait for it to happen. It's said that this kind of high-strung beauty hates touching men the most. I then revealed a lewd expression. Senior sister is right. In that case, it's time for my brother to rest. Ninth senior sister's cheeks are red. Senior brother, your acting skills are so bad. But just then, I'm about to fall down if I don't pay attention. I only saw ninth senior sister flying towards me with a sliding shovel, and I happened to fall into ninth senior sister's arms. At this moment, how do I feel? How does the ninth senior sister seem to have a satisfied look? Ninth senior sister is simply happy in her heart. I'm finally lying in senior brother's arms. This feeling is really too good. But just at this moment, eldest sister actually flew towards me as well. I was speechless. Don't people rest at night? Ninth senior sister wondered why eldest senior sister had also come. Was she also interested in senior brother? If eldest sister hadn't come, maybe I would have taken eldest brother just now, and we'd have had a baby in 10 months. But the head can be broken and blood can flow. The high and cold persona cannot be lost. It is better to quickly hide first. So ninth sister took advantage of my inattention to get into the haystack, claiming to be sorting out her clothes. Ninth senior sister was furious. "I can't believe it's you, who is dating fifth senior brother. Quickly tell me what you're doing here at night, wearing such tight, thin trousers and no bib. What have you been doing behind my back? Come on, tell me the truth." But right at this moment, when the two heard the voice of the eldest senior sister, the two sisters instantly made peace and pointed the finger at the eldest senior sister. At this time, eldest sister pouted at me, and I had a headache. Eldest sister, pay attention. This is a bad influence. And just then, eldest sister also discovered that the footprints on the ground were actually two people. "Little baby, you've grown up." Suddenly big sister sensed that something was wrong. The Qingping sword had been pulled out by someone. Who would this person be? If it were little baby, he'd have set it out in the daytime to show it off in public. But now it's so low-key that it doesn't fit his persona. So eldest sister planned to test me with a provocative method to see if it was me who pulled out the Qingping sword. I only heard the eldest senior sister say that the person who could pull out the Qingping sword was either strong or was recognized by the Qingping sword. At this time, I don't want to understand the recognition of the Qingping sword at all. I just want to understand how my senior sister developed so well. Eldest sister said that only the selfless realm can pull out the Qingping sword, and I'm afraid that no one in the three sword set can be in this realm. Elder sister is right. The selfless realm, that's a threshold that a cultivator may not be able to step into in their entire life. Su Bei, don't be so frustrated. Let's not talk about this. There's something big sister wants you to help me with. I suspect that some people are trying to harm our sword sect recently. Half a month ago, a group of sword sect disciples disappeared in Mo City, so I want to take the opportunity of this recruitment to ask little Bebe to help me to investigate secretly. I don't know if little Bebe will be willing to. Inside I didn't want to go, but just then the system suddenly prompted that a red sun of fortune had actually been found in Mo City. In the next second, in the shocked gaze of the eldest sister, I directly changed my face. As an elder of the sword sect, I'm obliged. Elder sister, don't worry. The sword clan disciples are like family to me. How can you tell me to stay out of it? This matter will be left to me. And the ninth senior sister hiding in the pile of grass was complaining. If her sister hadn't come, she might have taken down her senior brother long ago. Damn it! Eighth sister is puzzled. Sister, are you alright? Are you going off the deep end? Why is your face red? The two of them then fought in the haystack again, and the sound of the two of them fighting was discovered by the elder sister on the side, only to see the two at this time has fought from the inside to the outside. The eighth sister with a panicked face said, "Sister, you normal point I'm afraid of." Eldest sister looked at the two and asked, "Why are you two sisters hiding in the grass? Are you afraid that you'll be caught on a date?" The eighth sister quickly explained, "We just came to find senior brother to learn swordsmanship. Senior brother can be very powerful. Just now also pulled out the Qingping sword." Eldest sister looked at me and said, "I didn't think that little Bei could pull out the Qingping sword. I don't know if I can demonstrate it to my sister. I'm embarrassed. I wanted to show it off, but it's not responding at all. Eighth sister told eldest sister that I was struggling to communicate with the Qingping sword just now, so maybe I can't. Eldest sister sniffed. So, then let's forget it. After all, everyone has times when they can't. I only saw that I was holding the Qingping sword in my hand, and I looked grave and extraordinarily angry. And a man can't say no. On the other side, Xiao Ruosheng was working hard to cultivate the sword dictionary, and nearly broke through the qi refining realm after only one day. Xiao Ruoshi thought to himself, I really am a great pride in the immortal cultivation world, and I still have to work harder to send my master back to the world as soon as possible. And just as Xiao Ruosheng continued to cultivate, she unexpectedly felt the legendary selfless realm. Xiao Ruoshi's confidence has doubled. It seems that in this life's 21 state clan competition, Xiao Ruoshi will be honored at the top. I'm a little embarrassed at the moment. There aren't many people yet. Should I concede? When there are more people, I won't be able to use my sword again. The eighth sister behind me saw that I was slow to make a move and thought that I was waiting for everyone to come and participate in this moment of witnessing a miracle together again. So they shouted, fifth senior brother is going to draw the Qingping sword. Everyone come quickly come late cannot see the elder sister. You are really watching the fun. It didn't take long for no sword peak to be surrounded by disciples who were eating it. The eldest senior sister rushed forward to understand from the sisterhood. Can I really pull out the Qingping sword so as not to lose face when the time comes? At this moment, the second sister and the sixth sister, who were on their way to the facing cliff to contemplate their lives, suddenly heard a noise from below. I only heard the disciples below say that the fifth elder is going to draw the Qingping sword today, so everyone is going to observe and watch. Hearing this, the second senior sister burst into a rage. What qualification did this little trash Su Bei have to draw the Qingping sword? Today, I would like to see what makes Su Bei able to pick up the Qingping sword. And then he flew in the direction of no sword peak. Lao Liu quickly explained, we just go over to take a look. We'll be back in a while. After all, passing by not sword peak, say hello is also very reasonable. Eldest sister looked at me very puzzled and asked, why haven't you done it yet? Are there too many people getting nervous? I was just about to explain when Lao Liu the kid suddenly flew down. All out of the way. I want to see my elder brother pretend to be a pimp. The next second bang landed directly on the head and gave everyone a hard knock. The crowd was speechless for a while, and just then, the second elder sister came to mess things up again, actually saying that I was some kind of cat or dog, not worthy of touching the supreme treasure in the sword. Then the second elder sister said to the bottom, Su Bei, a person who sells his name and reputation, degrades the most precious treasure in the sword. I was all upset. Even old Six, the kid, chimed in. These two are really shady. I don't need to think about it to know that these two must be secretly counting on me, wanting to take me to the wall with them. And right at this moment, the system suddenly prompted Xiao Ruosheng to break through the qi refining realm. Comprehending a hint of the selfless realm, I was also rewarded for this and comprehended the selflessness grand completion realm, truly worthy of being a son of fortune, truly my savior. Next is my home ground. Today Su Bei dares to pull out the clan's most precious treasure, the Qingping sword. Please witness. However, the senior sister is screaming again. The Qingping sword is also something you can get your hands on. You are so low-eyed, you only know snarling and barking. Even the senior sister directly to the crowd bluntly said, if you can pull out the Qingping sword, I say Qingyi on the spot to eat a caddy of shit. But the next second, I directly hit her in the face. Gently waved my hand and pulled up the Qingping sword without the slightest effort, only to see countless sword shadows all surrounding the top of the no sword peak. All of a sudden the no sword peak was surrounded by sword chi with an astonishing aura. With my perfect performance this time, watching the eighth and ninth sisters, the two sisters were also adoring me. The second elder sister was simply furious at this time. Just such a guy who only knew how to eat, drink and have fun. On what grounds did the Qingping sword recognize it? Xiao Ruosheng, who had just broken through the qi refining realm, was complacent when she accidentally comprehended a trace of the realm of selflessness. Suddenly Xiao Ruosheng noticed the appearance of a vision. What in the world has happened? Did the sixth elder's burning of the ancestral tomb really bring out the sword sect's greatest treasure? Looking at the sword shadows surrounding is Buji and Fan. Xiao Ruosheng was puzzled as to what had happened, so she hurriedly ran towards Buji and Fan. At this moment, Xiao Ruosheng collapsed on the ground. This big devil has even become a great success. How in the world am I going to take revenge? At this moment, Xiao Ruoxiong collapsed on the ground. This big devil has even become a great success. How in the world am I going to take revenge? At this time, Big Sister is very puzzled. Little Bei, how exactly did you realize the realm of selflessness? I pretended to be a superior person, and slowly said that the so-called sword path, the most important thing to stay away from his feelings. Women only affect the speed of drawing the sword. Brothers, remember, there is no woman in your heart to draw the sword naturally. The second elder sister is very angry at this time. Su Bei, this and other people become famous, and so on 50 years. Face the wall of the period of the past. This sword clan does not stay also. Looking at the crowd talking about it, Big Sister shouted, "Oh, give me quiet. What's the matter with you? What to do to disperse?" At this time, inside a room in Mo City, a woman was constantly practicing how to turn a person into a eunuch, only to see a high-cool beauty walk out from the house. "Lear, the letters of visit from the first-class sects are all here. If you want to go to any clan with these qualifications, you can go to any clan in the 21 states. When Mo Li saw the recruitment meeting of the sword sect, he immediately chose the sword sect. Now that I'm a man of two worlds, Su Bei, I will send you back to the west. At this moment, I am preparing the things I need to go out." Xiao Ruoxiong puzzled, "Master, what are we going to do when we go down the mountain?" I threw the task list at him, and it wasn't you who made Master a pauper with a fire. Now we're going to go out and pull investment. Xiao Ruoxiong then brought a large bag with her with the intention of setting off. I was slightly stunned. "Apprentice, are you going back to your mother's house?" Xiao Ruoxi said in a low voice. "Master Qing'er no longer has a home. This is all the family belongings of the feelings." I quickly went up to comfort and took out the storage ring to give it to her. "Well, don't get carried away. You should be able to open it now in the chi practicing realm." Xiao Ruoxiong looked at the storage ring in her hand. "Master, if you guys were always like this, how good would it be? Walking on the road?" I told Xiao Ruoxiong, "Don't fret about cultivation. Master will find a way to help." Looking at her sad look, I said seriously, "Walking in the jungle always bored faces not make friends. Choose my more. Now I'm going to help my master to unbuckle his belt." Xiao Ruoxi was stunned. "Master, what are you doing in the middle of nowhere?" "Of course my teacher is going to show you a treasure. Rare for my teacher, big for you. This is the newbie package I prepared for you. How about I treat you well?" Xiao Ruoxiong looked at Su Bei in front of her. In my previous life, I had not even seen the shadow of the elixir, and now such a precious elixir was given to me casually. Xiao Ruoxiong at this time is very entangled inside. "Su Bei, in the end, which one is the real you?" Looking at the speed limit system reward bar, I was upset. Just the beginning of the fears a few times. What's with the speed limit? If you are not a member, you will be prompted that the content is abnormal and can't be accelerated. Forget it. Just hurry up and get going. In this way, the two of us arrived at Mo City in a short while, and in front of us was the city gate to enter Mo City. I looked at Mo Chang and couldn't help but sigh. It's been about a month since my master came, and the last time I came was the last time. Entering the city, many vendors were selling enrollment information for all the major sects. The variety was very rich. Only to hear a man ask, "Is there any information about the sword sect?" Sword sect? Such a rubbish sect. Dog shook his head when he heard it. Xiao Ruoxiong and I were slightly stunned. The sword sect's reputation is so poor, it seems I really need to revitalize the sect. The man added, "The sword sect is at least a first-class sect. My sister is determined to go to the sword sect, and will also worship his idol, the fifth elder." As a teacher, I came to the front of the man. "What is your name?" The man was a little excited, thinking that his chance to come. I only saw the man excitedly introduce himself. "I am the son of the Mo family. My name is Mo Xiaochong." I was happy in my heart. I had just come down the mountain and met the son of Purple Chi. It was just a bit of a pity that it was a male Xiaochong. The sword sect is only a bottom-tier, first-tier sect nowadays. Have you considered going to some better sects? The man thought at this point that this must be a test from my seniors. The man then said, "My sister and I both think that the sword sect is being underestimated." That man was even more excited and said, "Moreover, I heard that the fifth elder of the sword sect not only has a heavenly face value, but also has unparalleled sword skills." Just when I was planning to ask Sister Xiaochong specifically, my good disciple was already waiting impatiently, so I left Xiaochong a token and told him to give him a creation at the same time and place on the bright moon. And then I left. I then led Xiao Ruoxiong to the entrance of the red pavilion, and Xiao Ruoxiong said, "Master, it's not good for us to come to this place." "Is it? What do you take Master for?" I am going in to criticize them severely. Just as we were going in, there actually seemed to be someone following behind us. "Girl, this place is not for women. The woman next to him said, "Don't mind him. Why don't you do it if you have a deal? Please come inside." Returning home, Xiao Chong hurriedly said to Mo Li, "Sister, I bumped into an elder of the sword sect today. This elder is most likely the 5th elder of the sword sect." Su Bei, Mo Li excitedly asked Xiao Chong, "Are you sure it's the 5th elder of the sword sect?" Su Bei, "Are you sure it's that person?" Xiao Chong was taken aback. "You just said you want to be Sable. I met Elder Su today when I was shopping. He came to Mo Chen. I'm telling you, I'm not going to let you have Elder Su. That's my chance. You don't want a piece of it." However, Mo Li directly snatched the token. "Su Bei, I haven't even gone to look for yours yet, and you just sent it to my door yourself." On the other hand, I was surrounded by a group of girls just after I entered the red pavilion. There's no way. Who let brother not only handsome, but also money? I pulled out a few pieces of broken gold. I asked them to arrange a room, and asked them for clues about the lost disciples of the sword sect of the near moon. "Elder Su, you can come with me. I'll tell Xiao Ruosheng to go to her room and stay there. I'm going to go do my business." Then the girl asked me if I had enough ransom money for this visit. I was puzzled. What ransom? Doesn't Elder Su know? During the flower leader competition, the sword sect disciples were trying to give the sect a boost, but unfortunately, they only brought people and no money. Looking at the disciples' appearance, I asked angrily, even if the sword sect disciple didn't have any money with him, the red pavilion couldn't abuse the lynchings, could it? "Elder Su, you've wronged us. They're playing with themselves. We haven't touched a finger. These disgraceful things. I'll teach you a lesson. I'll give you a good beating without any mercy." I looked at the ledger that was brought to me. My head was big. Old me raised those immoral pigs are not as dashing as you three, for a while expensive. I hastened to ask my sister to take me to their red court steward, to talk to him personally myself. I told these 3 disciples, it's not that this elder doesn't want to save them. It's that I don't have any more money either. So you guys might as well just scrub in here and pay your debts. As they say, if you make a mistake, you have to admit it. If you are beaten, you have to stand up straight. And if you have given someone a hold on you, you have to bear the consequences. I didn't forget to encourage them. When you become the head of the red pavilion, this elder will visit you sometime. Elder Su, the head of our red pavilion, is the Star Moon Sect's patriarch. The patriarch has been waiting inside for a while. Star Moon Sect patriarch, Fish Red Sleeve, is really beautiful. Ask which man can resist her temptation. Even the selfless realm of the Great Eye also want to champion sword alert. This demonic clan demon as horror as this. I came to the front and said to him, Star Moon Sect patriarch's charming technique is really powerful. Almost I was hit by it. Fish Red Sleeve heart secretly thought, I did not expect this Su Bei actually have such a determination. In my charm actually look and changed. There are not many men in the world who can resist the charm of my father. Could it be that my father's charm is not enough? I said lightly. This time I came here to represent the sword sect, to talk about cooperation with your Star Moon sect. Fish Red Sleeve hand over the lips, very flattering, said that I do not know the sun can represent the sword clan. Fish Red Sleeve looked at the Qingping sword in my hand with some curiosity. It was at least a peak earth grade sword. What is this Su Bei capable of? Fish Red Sleeve didn't believe that the sword sect, which couldn't even take out 10 million taels of gold, had any capital to cooperate. I told her that as long as our two clans work together, we'll bring in at least 10 million taels of gold a year, which is several times more than the Red Pavilion's income. It turns out that the person who followed earlier was actually the 9th senior sister, who found Xiao Ruosheng and wanted to take her away from me, to prevent the two of us from being together, only to see the 9th senior sister take out a supreme treasure, like the spirit pearl of heaven and earth, saying that as long as she worshipped her as a master, this treasure would be given to her. Although Xiao Ruosheng was very moved, but thinking that there were other senior sisters waiting to be rescued, she still refused the 9th senior sister. Then 9th senior sister said, that spirit bead will be your gift for worshipping the 5th elder as your master. But I have to remind you that your master is not as good as you think. Xiao Ruosheng looked at the spirit bead in her hand. Could it be that the 9th elder had already seen through the nature of her master, and that was why she had been so bad to her master? On the other hand, I was explaining the concept of microblogging to Fish Red Sleeve, who asked what the point was of the two clans joining forces. Even though the idea was good, I told her that once we stabilized, even if someone tried to get in, it would just be a mouthful of tepid soup. Fish Red Sleeve could not help but sigh. What a terrible mind. How come I have not heard of this character before? I looked at Fish Red Sleeve, who was in deep thought, and asked very confidently, I wonder how well the pavilion master has considered it. Elder Su is really a business genius. Once this is done, there will be more than 10 million gold. This tactic is simply amazing. Elder Su isn't afraid that I'll kill you and copy your idea. Sword Sect 5th Elder, you're bluffing. Such a good brain. It is a pity to kill it. It is a good idea to be the forbidden domain of the Red Pavilion, said Fish Red Sleeve, ready to attack me, and the 9th senior sister who just left is secretly rejoicing. Just now that move to disassociate is really perfect. The senior brother must be his own. But right at this moment, she suddenly felt a terrifying auras, one of which was actually the sword aura of the Qingping sword. 9th senior sister immediately exclaimed that it was not good. It must be that senior brother is in trouble. Senior brother, hold on. I'm coming to save you. At this moment, I am very calm. Patriarch Fish, I will take what I said just now as you joking with me. Elder Su, what if I wasn't joking just now? After all, I can send you to your death with just one finger. I smiled slightly. I would be afraid of her, who let me have a son of Kai. And just now, my disciple made another breakthrough. At this moment, I only saw my system prompting me that it had actually rewarded me with the peak harmonization experience cards, and that I had also broken through to the middle stage of incarnation. Fish Red Sleeve puzzled. This guy enigmatic confidence in the end from where? Aren't you afraid? I calmly drink tea, and Fish Red Sleeve at this time angry. Good arrogance. I would like to see Elder Su have a few pounds into. However, I put my arm around Fish Red Sleeve. Don't you want to know where I get my confidence from? Fish Red Sleeve smiled coldly. Eloquent and eloquent, but unfortunately it was worthless in front of absolute strength. Then today I will show you. I only saw me pull out the Hato Peak 5-minute experience card, and the next moment was to witness a miracle. At this moment, I animated the aura of the Peak of Harmonious Tao, surrounded by sword chi. My aura was amazing, and in an instant, I suppressed Fish Red Sleeve. Fish Red Sleeve couldn't believe it. Only 500 years old, and already at the peak of harmonization. This was absolutely impossible. I smiled slightly. Patriarch Fish need not be surprised. I've always been a person who likes to keep a low profile and doesn't like to show off. At this moment, the Fish Red Sleeve has completely fallen and hastily hugged me tightly, intending to use the beauty trick on me. But how could I not know this little trick? So I took on the persona of the first deep love in the immortal world, constantly pulling each other in the midst of my feelings. And finally Fish Red Sleeve agreed to cooperate. Fish Red Sleeve at this time is more sad. Su Elder call concubine Fish Master. Oddly distinctive. How about calling me sister can be good. Then even took out the Star Moon Order. With this thing, can enjoy all the resources of the Star Moon sect. See the order as see the master. Fish Red Sleeve petulant said, this Star and Moon order only belongs to you and the Sword Clan has nothing to do with. I want to make a friend with Elder Su. I can't help but sigh in my heart. This woman is really bold. In that case, I'll take this token. We also need to trouble Sister Fish to prepare 1 million taels of gold. Fish Home Sleeve agreed without even thinking about it. As a courtesy, then my brother should give my sister an item as well. I still have things to do, so I'll take my leave first. Fish Red Sleeve looked at the gift in her hand. It seemed to be a sock, but it was a little long. It seems that her brother has a lot of good things on him, and this scene happened to be also seen by the 9th sister behind the door. The 9th sister asked, I do not know what exactly is the relationship between you and my senior brother. Don't you know our relationship? When she heard this, she was so angry that the 9th sister was about to hit her with her sword, only to see the 9th senior sister's breath skyrocket, and her mouth said angrily, Demon girl, why did you compel your senior brother to detain the sword sex disciples? Fish Red Sleeve didn't put her in her eyes at all. You are Elder Su's senior sister, or else your strength in the early stage of refining void is worthy of talking to this father. However, in the end, the two are also a disagreement on the start of the fight. In order to me greatly out of the fight, at time actually fight very exciting. The 9th senior sister was ultimately outmatched and still lost. After all, Fish Red Sleeve's harmonization realm was not something she could deal with. Fish Red Sleeve also did not forget to make a mockery of it. Also, do not take a look in the mirror. How can Su Bei like a brute like you? And this sentence also deeply hit the heart of the 9th sister. So I am in the eyes of others like this. How could brother like a good for nothing and a nuisance? But can the words of the demon sex demoness really be trusted? 9th senior sister could not help but shed tears. How could senior brother look at me like that? I don't believe it. I have to find senior brother to ask about it. 9th senior sister, who was just about to knock on the door and enter, heard Xiao Ruoshong and I discussing what kind of person she really was. In my eyes, the 9th sister from the Stillwater, gentle and elegant, or when the year to be the teacher for her to shake a tree peach blossom little girl. 9th senior sister doubt there is such a thing. How do I not know? This kind of small things even I myself have forgotten. But senior brother Kun, remember good gentle Star Moon Demoness. I'll take this revenge. I have to find a good place to break through the middle stage of void refining. At this moment I am complacent, the first deep love in the immortal world. Is it not a vain name? Girls should like these the most. Looking at Xiao Ruoxiang, who was still dazed, I hurriedly shouted, well, it is better to first go with my master to rescue the sect disciples. Soon, I was able to free all the disciples in the clan, and even intimidated them into joining my recruiting team. Once the several disciples heard that joining the recruiting team would exempt them from the clan's punishment, they thanked me one after another. People saw the sword sect disciples behind me and talked. Good man, this is the first time I've seen a clan reunion come here. Just as I came out of the red pavilion, the new son of Qi finally appeared. Mo Li of the Mo Sei Mo clan. Meet Elder Su of the sword sect. At this moment, I was all excited. Wed Qi, this was definitely the second disciple I was looking for. At this time, the Mo sisters are slipping up to me, and Mo Xiaochong is even chattering incessantly at this time. Mo Li, who came to serve the tea, was about to fall down accidentally, and I was baffled. What is the operation of tripping on the left foot and the right foot? Luckily, I was quick on my feet and didn't get burned yet. Mo Li quickly apologized, and I told her that it was nothing. Everyone has slippery feet sometimes. Elder Su, wait, I have paper here. But while Mo Li was rummaging for the paper, a small knife flew towards my bottom. Luckily, I've practiced the Ling Liang Yi finger, otherwise I'd have become a eunuch. It's just horrible, Xiao Ruoxi said. But master, it's not the blade of the sword you're clamping, it's the edge of the sword. Your hand seems to be bleeding. I have a black line on my face. What kind of bad luck did I have today? If I didn't know you, I'd simply suspect that you did it on purpose. Mo Li explains in aggravation that the dagger was used by her for self-defense, and that it was coated with harmony. I'm speechless. The dagger is coated with poison for defense. I can still understand what the hell you're coating this aphrodisiac with. Afraid that you won't be able to run away. But as an elder of the sword sect, how could I be bothered with her? Besides, she's still the son of Mai Kai. I asked Mo Li, I heard that you are very keen on the sword sect. Mo Li immediately replied that her first choice in life was the sword sect. Hearing this, Xiaocheng immediately upset. Mo Li, I see you poor. I did not expect you to be so unprofessional martial virtues. Getting close to Elder Su in public. I'm the one destined to be a companion of the sword. But the next moment, Xiaocheng was beaten up by Mo Li and said he had a gift for me. After the last mishap, I told her she wouldn't have to pay for this gift. After all, it was short to take it. Xiao Ruoxiang, who was next to me, watched Mo Li and I browbeat each other, and thought to herself that she must protect her sister. So we interrupted my conversation with Mo Li, who at that moment also noticed Xiao Ruoxi. At this moment, Xiao Ruoxi and Mo Li secretly vowed in their hearts to save both sides from the fire and send me back to the west at an early date. At this moment, a group of people next door caught the attention of Xiao Ruoxiang and me, only to hear the disciples of Wu Wakyu bragging about the result of this recruitment. Xiao Ruoxiang had a black line on her face. That person actually said that Wu Wakyu is not comparable to other clans, and that this year he would set a small goal of recruiting 10 million people. However, the crowd, when they saw the sword sect disciples, made a mockery of them. Aren't you guys busy burning your ancestors' graves? The sword sect disciples were also not willing to show their weakness, saying that they were a bunch of losers whose sword intentions couldn't even last for 3 breaths. The Wu Wakyu disciples said, don't talk about those useless things. Every year you are not at the bottom of the recruitment star, and you can just have a good time here. It's impossible for my sword sect to be at the bottom of the list this year for recruiting stars this time around. And this year's overall leader is our sword sect's 5th elder. At this time, the elders of the Wuwa district said, as far as I know, in the sword sect Su Bei cultivation for 100 years is still the middle stage of the transformation of God. With this strength, I can slap you away. And your sword sect, you're a disgrace to this first-class sect of ours. The sword sect disciple who was rescued by me shouted at him. A mere refined void dares to bark in front of our elder Su. Let me tell you, that scum you talk about can crush you losers with just one sword.